what's up, guys? I know it's been a while, but welcome back. This is a couple things where we talk about
a couple of things.
As you can see, it's been a year since we last talked to you guys. A couple things that changed. New location, got a new apartment, 1 bedroom.
Upgraded.
You know what I'm saying? Moving on up like the Jeffersons. Also, she gave birth to this little man about a year ago.
Oh, he's chilling now.
Right,
this
Papa?
is De Niro.
This is De Niro.
He's
Say
one.
hello to me.
He's a Chiweenie. He's a little cutie pie.
Chunky.
Oh yeah, he's chunky, and everyone keeps fat shaming our dog, but don't come for our child. We're still learning.
Yes. Also, a couple other things that happened within the year.
You got a promotion, baby.
Got a promotion, so now operation manager. Reason for the upgrade.
We have some things cooking, but we don't really want to talk on it. More action, more doing.
It'll be our mental health episode. So that falls into what we've been doing this past year. We went on vacation last September. We came back looking at our photos like, goddamn, we let ourselves go. So we went on a little workout binge. We've been doing insanity. I've been in the gym. We've been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
She definitely lost a lot of weight. I lost only like 5 pounds.
No, he's doing great. He is doing great. You look amazing, honey.
Because muscle makes more than
But we're fixing ourselves and we are enhancing ourselves to become the best versions.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, mental health has a lot to do with growing as an individual and learning. So
yeah, so it's been pretty much a hot topic for the past year, especially in the urban community, thanks to the main person I could think of is Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club, just bringing it to light and just bringing it to the minorities, like us brown and black people. We don't think mental health is the thing that we could obtain just because of healthcare, just because we seem expensive, or because of just a toxic thinking of just dismissing somebody and calling them crazy, not actually addressing what issues got them crazy. So we're just gonna touch on that.
No, what issues got them crazy, baby?
No. I mean,
no.
No, for real.
See, that I feel, and I'm glad you said it that way, because we like to be very raw and unfiltered, but I don't feel that mental health is crazy. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're crazy. It means that a part of your brain has been accessed and it doesn't work the way that other brains work.
No, I'm not even putting that on them. I'm talking about in the urban community, you just dismiss a person and then they're crazy and then they're in that back room that nobody opens.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And if you guys have any questions as well, put them in the comments below. We'll be able to answer them right back to you on the social media. So.
Why do you think in this past year it's become so popular in the urban community?
I think it's always been popular. I just think people have been afraid to talk about it. But now that we have our current president, many Cheeto dust. Some Cheeto dust.
I know.
It chews right here. I can't move. Oh my god. Okay, no, I'm sorry. This is so cute. Okay, I think that since Trump has been in office, so many people, they have this backbone that they never had to talk about certain things. And I think that it's driving people mad. They're also starting to see what's going on in their households. They're starting to see people being mistreated and themselves being mistreated, which then leads to mental health issues because you start to want to know what's wrong with you. Not only seeing it in other people, but you start to self-assess yourself and wonder, am I going through these issues as well? And I think that it's freaking awesome that Charlamagne the God and so many other people have been coming out and speaking about it because it needs to be a topic of conversation.
I'm pretty much middle class, but she's not. She's come from certain types of poverty. In my 20s, I've went into poverty just being as young and just wanting to get out of my house. I'll just take any situation. lived in a couple projects, lived in a couple things, but it's just that PTSD that Charlamagne always talks about, we just think is normal. But it's not normal to be in projects just on top of each other with everybody with this mindset of kill or be killed or crabs in a bucket.
Your environment is everything.
Environment is going to make you a stronger individual, but it's going to make you too strong to a point where you don't address these emotional things that have made you who you are, or just you might not even notice the trauma until you hear other people start talking about it. And I just think it's just a good thing to actually view it as an issue in itself that you might need to be fixed. Even if you don't see a therapist, you could just know.
No, I think
you could just assess yourself.
I like what you said. I think that it should be actually viewed as, when you go get your haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I think mental health should be looked at as a routine. Mm-hmm. Writing in a journal, that's all it takes. Looking at your surroundings, removing yourself from certain surroundings, meeting with different doctors to see if you have a certain chemistry with them where you do feel comfortable talking to them and wanting to help yourself to open your mind a little bit more, because I think that's what it is also. We don't really open our minds to situations.
Yeah, because we only look at what's in front of you or what's in your environment. Everybody going through the same thing or doing the same thing. Either they selling drugs, they trying to play sports, or that's like the only way out. It's just a mentality of just like, I gotta survive. And then when you take yourself out of that and you actually meet people that are never even thought of that as survival, and they just think about just pushing forward and not even thinking about the obstacles. We're always thinking about the obstacles in front of us and like what's stopping us, and instead of thinking about what could build us or what could we address to make us better. Knowing that you're trying to take care of your mental health is the biggest thing ever, I think.
Yeah. What do you think mental health is?
I want to touch on that PTSD a little bit. A lot of our like child trauma, like how do you think that has affected your mental health to this day?
Okay, so I didn't even know that it was affecting me, if I'm being honest. Like, I was going through life, obviously we go through life living it the way that we know best, but those decisions were based on past things that happened. So when I think about, for example, I was just telling you the other night, when I go to sleep, I have issues with insomnia and I can't be in the dark for too long. I literally feel like someone's chasing me or someone is gonna break in and like take me away. And it sounds ridiculous even when I say it out loud, but what my mother thinks it is back to my traumas when I was much younger and the things that used to happen to me. I still live vicariously through that. So every single day, it's like kind of a random reminder that just pops up. It's really weird how PTSD happens, and it doesn't. I don't want people to think that it's just this thing that you walk around with that hovers over you. It's not like that.
When did you become aware of
this year?
Like that is what makes you this way because
March.
of that. Yeah.
March.
That's crazy.
March. I had no idea, and I'll use a whole nother episode to touch on my PTSD and where it came from, and we'll attack that topic. But it was watching someone else talk about their PTSD and their traumas that helped me to see, wait, maybe I have similarities to this. And from that day forward, I said, now it's my job to fix it. Now that I know, I have to work on bettering myself and just doing better for the people that also surround me, because you feel people's energies, and I don't want people to ever be around me and feel like this cloud over them. So I try to like adapt, but there are times that it pops up and it sucks, man.
I mean, but
it sucks.
But instead of burying it,
don't bury it.
It's to the surface, and you know it's an issue that you have to improve and deal with. Not just like, why am I reacting this way over this little situation? It's because of your past situations.
Of course.
And it has affected our relationship as well. We both have PTSD with just bad relationships and just cheating and just trust. I've dealt with it to the point of just like, I can't control it, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I just gotta.
And that's not the right way to look at things.
No, but but this is how I look at it. I just gotta trust you wholeheartedly, because me not trusting you is gonna give me that PTSD, and it's gonna make me go crazy in my head, because I'm like, where is she going? Who is she doing this? Or I'm not secure in my relationship. So instead of even thinking about that, I just blindly trust.
Yeah, but I feel like you're also talking about something a little different.
No, but that's a big thing. When somebody cheats on you and like
But do you feel secure with
else.
me?
I feel super secure.
Okay, and have I yet given you a reason to not feel secure?
But no, not at all. Okay. But I could still have that in me from past relationships. Of like, I'm just never gonna trust you.
We need to have a topic on that too.
Anyway, that's a whole different topic.
That is a whole
different
other topic.
But that's like most of my PTSD is like just trust in relationships, and maybe a little bit of middle child syndrome. I've always wanted to be loved, to be liked. I think I have that in me, but is that the worst thing? I don't think so. And so how do you think people less fortunate could get help with like therapists with mental health when they don't have that accessible to them?
I think that talking, just communicating, you'd be surprised how communicating with just anyone, even if it's a stranger, if it's a good friend, if it's like a family friend, opening up and talking. A lot of people like to withhold information, and I don't mean like in gossip. I mean like they like to withhold their
people
personal...
like to hold their weaknesses because they think it'll be held against them. If it's really your closest friends that know you in and out, and you don't put a facade of like being this cool person, I think that's the only way. Because I'm sure there's certain friends where you don't want them to feel like either you're going through it or you're broke.
If you have to think, I feel that if you have to walk on eggshells around certain people, those are not your people, right? Like, if you should be able to walk up to all your friends that you've been friends with for over 15 years.
Put it that way.
Basically. But you should be able to walk up to your friends and say, like, listen, I'm going through something. Like, it shouldn't just be, let's go out for beers and let's do this all the time. Like, let's just get my head out of this situation at the moment. And that is the problem. A lot of people like to attack their mental health by covering it up with something else that they rather do on top of that. And they bury the hatchet. And then what happens is, I can't move, but you start to suppress what you're going through, and it starts building up. And if you just had a person where you could say, hey, you know what, let's meet for a couple of years, let's go play some pool. I need to tell you things that are on my mind, you know, no judgment zone. You should always have a no judgment zone, like with somebody. But there are also outlets out there. There are certain websites that I have seen, and I will try my best to put them down in the information below. But there are certain websites where you can go and you can actually chat with therapists.
Like, and I even have decent health insurance, and it's still hard to find a therapist. It's super expensive, and I think it's some crook shit. Therapists need therapists, you know what I'm saying? So like, they're not even perfect. She's saying is just having a friend that really cares about you, that's fucking smart, that you could really talk to,
no, therapists,
or even a relationship. I feel like as long as you should be able to attack the trauma. No, if you don't know what the trauma is, maybe a therapist could help you. Yeah,
can't say therapists. They studied the brain, so they're going to have, no matter what issues they're going through in their own personal lives. Doctors are going through shit as well. You know what I mean? Like, they can access parts of us that we can't. And sometimes, this is the only thing I will say that's not always good with talking to people, is they bring on their biases and what they think is right into your situation, which is not always helpful. But allowing someone to talk and just sit and be a really great listener, I think that's where it's all at. It's all about listening, because a lot of people don't feel as if they're heard. And I remember speaking to somebody about a really traumatic situation, and they just kept doing this. Look, legit, it was the most annoying thing. Okay, I see you, but you're gonna be great. You're gonna be fine. And you're gonna get through this. And everything's gonna be fine. And I totally understand. And I totally get it. And I wasn't able to continue getting any words in.
Yeah, that's and like
I just wanted to talk.
Yeah, and that's like somebody, you know, when somebody's listening to you and somebody's not, like, the fifth, what is it, New York shit, like the fifth dead ass, you know that
exactly
analysis?
like you have
Like,
to
dead
make
ass?
sure
Word?
exactly don't
Dead
listen
ass?
to reply but listen to people to understand, because you'd be surprised what really happens when you take your
Say it
face
again.
out of your phone. Listen to understand, not to reply. Everyone listens to reply. Most people don't even hear. They have a 30-second, I think it's a 30-second capacity
Yeah, they
to
already have
listen
to come
you.
back in their head.
Yeah, so
rebuttal in their head.
start paying attention to how you speak to people, and you will notice that they're really not paying attention to you. Especially if someone's looking away. Eye contact, that means a lot, because it's showing you that they're listening, that they're taking you in, that they're understanding you. And it's going to help with your trauma and your PTSD, because you're going to feel like you have someone in your corner, and then you'll be able to help somebody. Like, I feel that ever since I've become aware of my mental health and I've been trying to do something about it, I feel like I'm in a great space, a greater space.
What if you feel like you don't have anybody to really speak to? Like,
that's where it gets difficult. I feel like when you don't feel like you have, you're lying to yourself. There's always somebody there to talk to, and someone that's willing to listen.
But that's part
to
of
you.
depression, and that's part of mental health.
Yeah,
where
that you don't
you
think.
feel like you're alone, like, and then obviously therapists out the window, and they don't feel like they could talk to anybody. How could they, like, help themselves? Like,
music. If you're a creative person, I believe that find the thing that makes you feel happy or solace, because not all people want to feel happy at a certain moment. I know that there are people that force themselves to cry. There are people that want to feel sadness, or you'll watch a certain show to get in a certain mood. So I say watch your favorite shows, or educate yourself. Watch some things that you've never watched before. Why don't you go on YouTube or go on Google and literally read real research papers on mental health? Start to teach yourself. People don't want to teach themselves anymore anything. If you don't want to go to school for it, you don't have to, but become educated within the topic that you're feeling stress, because you're going to learn from it, and you're going to know how to access certain points within your brain and within yourself to just to get over that hump, I would say.
I feel like you always got to give yourself an internal review of yourself.
Yes.
Like, you know how, like, jobs do a fucking, like, I don't know, like a 90-day eval or something like that. I feel like you should do a 60-day eval of just how you feel, like, what do you think you're going, how do you feel happy, or just ask yourself questions of where you want to be, why do you either feel stuck or you feel good. Just always be in contact with yourself, because you're in charge of your own happiness. Like, all this could make me happy, but at the end of the day, if I'm not happy with myself,
exactly,
this is the only thing that's gonna make me happy. Then what's
be
gonna happen when
codependent
when they're not there? You know what I'm saying? Not even like just like if they leave me or anything or pass away. I'm talking about there's 8 hours of the day where they're not there. If I'm at work or if I'm doing this, if I'm doing that, you always have to be within yourself. Like, am I happy doing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And is this life really making me happy?
That's an important topic that you brought up, because I feel like a lot of people think that happiness is this destination. It's like, okay, so I got the dream job, I make 100K, I have all of these things, I'm happy, I made it. And
the difference is
there's no such thing. Happiness is a mood. The way you feel sad, the way you feel excited. Happiness is a mood. It's not a destination.
I know people that are happy in their little Honda Accord in a studio apartment, and I know people that are crying in the lonely mansion and in their Benz.
Yeah, man.
Material things, it's not gonna make you happy. Of
course,
it fucking helps.
I have a whole episode on materialistic things.
But like, if I'm good financially, that's one less thing I have to stress about, one less thing I have to worry about. But there's still a whole shitload of stuff in your life that you gotta make sure is good before you could really be happy.
And this is the main thing that has to be happening.
Yeah, it has to
if
be.
your brain is not happy, if it's not receiving the nutrients that it needs, how is it going to progress? How is it going to grow? How is it going to evolve? It's not. You're going to stay stagnant. And I feel like instant gratification and temporary insanity have a lot to do with people staying stagnant. And I think it's time to really just access that part of yourself and stop yourself and say it's time. It's time to figure out my mental health.
Do you feel like you suffer from any mental health issues? And
yes.
Do you feel that some people don't identify what they suffer with because they're embarrassed?
Yes. I personally suffer from mental health issues depending on the environments that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think it's more of like an in and out depression. Mm-hmm. So I feel that I wasn't able to access it because I was too busy focused on how bad I felt all the time. Like, I didn't try to fix it.
You just felt sorry for yourself.
I just felt sorry. I don't want anybody to feel like, go do something about it. It's not easy. I know that it's not easy. I'm in and out of it all the time. There was a show I was watching. I don't remember what show it was, but I think it was on Amazon Prime. And the girl, there's like a narrator, and it's Anne Hathaway, and she's bipolar, but she has episodes of depression where she would rather just lay in bed all day. She says she feels like she has a ton of bricks on her. I feel that way. I have felt that way every single day for the past 2 years. And it's crazy because people will look at you and they'll say, but you have such a great person that you're with, and you have a puppy, and you have such a beautiful apartment, and you're making. Why you feel that way? Oh yeah, I wasn't happy with where I was with myself internally. Like,
true.
I was basically coasting. Mm-hmm. And I believe that if you're not in the environment you want to be in, if you're not doing things that you want to be doing, if you feel like you're wasting like your life away, you're gonna have mental health issues. Most definitely.
Yeah, whatever, it's gonna come out in the light, whatever you hide in the dark. Oh, so like anything that trauma that you tucked in, you might not even know it's there, but it's there. And it's just little triggers that might pop up. And like with hers, little,
I couldn't even film. We didn't film for so long.
Yeah, we didn't film for so long because there was a lot of trauma. We even tried to kick off a couple of things probably last January.
Dude, we tried a couple times.
Couldn't because we just wasn't true to ourselves and like the trauma that we dealt with and stuff like that.
And there were a lot of topics that I couldn't touch on because I didn't feel like I should be talking about them if I wasn't ready to attack them for myself. Mm-hmm. And now that I feel like it's going to be so much easier to roll out episodes and to help you guys. Because honestly, that's the whole point of this. Like, we want to give you a raw, real, bridge millennial opinion of what's going on in the world and how we see it. Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of you feel the same way. And we're so tired of all these saturated TV shows with, yes, they're giving us information that is current, but they're very filtered. And they're telling us what they think we should be hearing. And we want to attack things the right way.
That's how just TV goes. And it's going to be aimed for a certain demographic.
So, honey, how do you feel about mental health within different cultures, different environments, and different races?
If a black dude shoots up a convenience store because he was robbing the place, are they going to say it's because of his mental health? Never. It's just gonna be a black thug that just wanted some money. Like somebody from the Middle East. If they shoot somebody, they could shoot their uncle on the corner and they're gonna say it's terrorism. You already know the rhetoric. If a white person shoots up a school, they're gonna blame mental health. They don't say he's a thug. They don't even say he's a terrorist, even though the most of mass shootings are a terrorist act. And who has done them all? American white males.
I want to touch on something also because I don't remember exactly which shooting it was, but I think it was a church shooting. Mm-hmm. And they took him to Burger King handcuffed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, they'll put it in the top of the magazines and the front cover of the newspapers saying,
and it's an
young
issue.
Man with mental health issues, as he's walked out by one cop.
After he shot like 40 people and probably still had a gun, they still take him down, to put a pillow under his head. You know what I'm saying? Didn't stop
resisting. It's not funny, but
It's because he had a mental health issue. Only white people suffer from mental health issues. Don't you get that?
That's how it's looked at. Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
an issue.
that's just so sad that it's always them with the mental health issues, even though everybody knows we all have mental health
Human
issues.
beings in general. We have brains, we have organs. Our organs all work exactly the same. The only difference between all of us is that we speak different languages and the colors of our skin are different.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's gonna do a mass shooting or mass bombing. It's gonna have some mental health issues because one, either they convince themselves to do it, which is they're fucked in the head, or somebody else convinced them to do it. That's like if you tell me strap a bomb to my chest because of Allah. No, you have an issue in your head. I think if somebody could tell you to do something to that extreme.
No, cut that out.
So you don't think they have mental health issues?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when we talk about that, we have to say that first of all, their upbringing is the reason. Mm-hmm. Most people, and this is important to mention because you just struck a chord, not in a bad way, like you brought something to light. Mental health happens because of the way that you're brought up. Mm-hmm. So if you're brought up in an environment where you're constantly told to hate, mm-hmm. and you're constantly told to look at things from one side and have a closed mind, that person is going to grow up to have a closed mind and to hate. And they're going to see life from only their point of view. So they're not going to have a regard or a selflessness for anyone else in the world, which is why I believe mm-hmm. mass shootings happen. Mm-hmm. I don't think that something like this can just be fixed with even a year or two of therapy. I think it's a lifelong transition that has to conspire, and all the people and all of the environment surrounding that person have to change immediately. If they don't, I feel like we're always going to be in this situation, pinning mental health only on certain cultures and only on certain races.
Yeah, then it's an issue. It's a big issue as soon as somebody that's white shoots something up, and now mental health is a bigger issue. And that's just, we all know what that is. That's Cheeto face, not fucking talking about guns and that we have to stop the guns because the NRA runs this campaign. That's a different subject for a different day. But yeah, mental health is just, it's a worldwide thing. Some more people have access to it, but as long as we're cognizant of it and we really attack it and talk about it, just as Charlemagne always talks about it, there's a reason why a lot of people are talking about it. Just try to identify the problem within yourself, try to address that problem, try to talk about that problem. That is the first step to anything.
Also, think before you talk. I think one thing that I want to say is that it's important to know yourself, as we've been saying this whole episode, but to be cognizant of what comes out of your mouth and to whom, because you don't know anyone's struggles. Mm-hmm. You don't know anyone's pains, their happiness. You don't know the struggle of what they're going through. So sometimes people, they do word vomit and they'll say certain things not knowing how it may affect somebody else. And that could trigger somebody's mental health, mental state. And then they may not know how to evaluate that. People kill themselves based off of what people say. Mm-hmm. So like bullying, things like that. Like if you bully someone in school and you say something to them, that one thing you can say could be what takes them over the edge to then sadly commit suicide. I'll be honest, I have thought of stuff like that in the past. And when I was around 15 or 16 years old, I was like, that's it. I don't want to live anymore. And it was based on me not knowing what I was going through. Mm. And I didn't know how to talk to anyone about it. So
deal with it.
Communication, man. Communication.
And honestly, man, I think online is it could be quite toxic.
Yeah, how do you feel about social media and mental health?
Social media and mental health just don't get along. Straight up. It depends how you filter your followers. Whatever social media outlet you use, you control what you see. You control what you follow. I stopped following a lot of negative stuff. Like I stopped following Shade Room.
Me too.
Baller Alert. I just stopped following a lot of negative stuff. Because it will suck me in, and then it will make me angry when I'm just looking at my phone. Like these people don't exist. A lot of them are trolls, and they're just
a lot of them
talking shit to make you angry or get a rise out of you because they bored and they behind a fucking computer eating Cheetos and masturbating. Straight up.
Here's the thing though, they're not bored. They have
those views.
No. They are going through mental health issues themselves, and they don't know how to attack it for themselves, so they have to go and push it on a whole nother person. So they have a place of blame. Mm-hmm. That's what I genuinely think. I don't think
actually makes that affect them. Like, I used to get on her all the time for reading the comments and then responding to comments in the shade. I'm like, yo, why are you getting yourself worked up over people that don't even matter?
No. You see, I know the difference.
You're not going to educate any of them. They're still going to be fucking ignorant.
I was doing it out of entertainment for myself because there are certain times that I see certain comments and I'm like, I'm going to let you have it because you're just a fucking idiot.
And that's not good.
But I'm telling you that's entertainment. I'm not telling you that it's taking me out of pocket or anything.
It would.
But I don't allow it to. I have my own views on social media, and we will definitely do an episode on social media. But I don't believe social media is an issue at all.
At all for mental health.
Listen.
No.
Who's the issue? The people. That's like me saying, and this is just an analogy.
It's not good for somebody to go online and look at maybe an issue that they're dealing with and then see ignorant comments. That's gonna fuck up even more the mental state.
That person needs to learn how to work on themselves to not allow that. But that's a trigger.
They need that mental health.
Oh yeah, but
so social media is not good for them. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I'm trying to say that I don't believe social media is ever the issue. Social media itself. The platform of Instagram. I'm gonna get real technical real quick.
Okay, the people in the platform. Okay,
boom.
I get that.
But we have to address that.
But what's in social media? The people of the platform.
So who's the problem?
So I'm saying that's
the people.
Not good. Yes.
Not social media. That's no.
Okay, the people on social media, guys.
But I mean, look, don't get annoyed. It's a reality. This remote ain't shit unless I touch it and make something happen with it, right? Mm-hmm. So social media ain't shit unless people are the ones behind it, activating it. We have to know, now that we know that, we have to know that there are other people that are battling the same shit that we're battling on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. Now it's all about how you can discipline yourself to not focus on that. Make the priority you bettering yourself. How about you follow a bunch of channels that are full of light? Like you said, you got rid of all the negative shit. Those are ways to change your social media, your interface, so you don't have to be face-to-face with it. I literally told you, I used to do it for pure entertainment. I used to do it for shits and giggles. Not everybody does it for shits and giggles. They literally do it because they want to hurt people because they are hurt.
Each person's going to deal with it differently.
Of course.
So I could post a picture and be dying to get likes and get a bunch of good comments that could make you feel good and can help your mental health. But it depends on what you focus on. Some people might focus on why I got 100 likes. I don't have 150, and then they're depressed again. Or
that's the one thing, person they're looking. Thank God likes are disappearing.
Or the one person they're looking to comment on never comments on it. So like, there's just so much stuff. Like but I just feel like it's more unhealthy than healthy. I just feel like there's so much negativity that's surrounded with social media.
I disagree because I just feel like people need to work on themselves. Stop blaming softwares and interfaces and movies. Not you.
That.
I know you're not.
I'm talking about what is it
Honey,
right now?
I'm
what
piggybacking.
is IG
Listen
right
to
now?
me. I'm piggybacking off of what you're saying as in an addition. People, and this is the message that we're trying to get across, that people have to stop looking at social media in that way. Fix yourself. Your eyes and your brain are the ones that are seeing it negatively. Fix your outlook. Like, you're always telling me to fix my outlook. If I don't like my job, quit. If I don't like the fucking drink I'm drinking, throw it the fuck away. If you don't like your neighborhood, get the fuck out and move to another one. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that you just pick up and do it. Follow steps to get to that place. If you know you hate your environment, all right, I'm not gonna go out for a whole fucking year, and I'm gonna save up every coin I have to get the fuck out of this neighborhood. Boom. And then it happens.
No, but we talking about people with mental health issues. Is it good for them to be on social media?
No, as an individual, that's what I'm saying. No. Work on yourself. I'll use myself as an example. I'm going through mental health issues, and there's a lot of times that I feel like I should not be on social media, but that's how you make coin. That's how you keep a following. That's how a lot of people's businesses are on it. So let's just say a couple's thing is at 3 million followers and going through like mental health shit. Social media is not the problem. I need to work on me. Maybe I take two weeks off, go recuperate. Maybe I start reading a book where I can start to see the glass half full rather than being pessimistic about the situation. Or I can turn off my fucking comments, because you know that's a thing. They still like the what if. What if this... I could turn off my comments, and I know that it'll make things better if I turn it off, but I'm gonna leave it on because I don't know who could write to me, or why do we give a fuck about what other people think?
Some people with mental health issues are looking for validation, looking for self to be seen. You're dissecting it a little bit too much. I'm just saying, like, if a person with mental health issues, do you think it's healthy for social media or harmful? I think it's more harmful because there's a lot of negativity out there. There's also a lot of positive, but most people with mental health issues they might not gravitate to the positive. So I think it's just more harmful.
Okay. We can agree to disagree.
All right.
Are you doing this for devil's advocate, or are you doing this because you genuinely
feel that
okay?
Way. There's supposed to be a whole mass opinion of like everybody agreeing. Like, that's not how shit works. Everybody's brought up differently. Everybody agrees on different things. Might not be the popular outlook on something, but it might be your truth. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different reason for how they feel. And everybody has a different life. And they should not be fucking crucified because they feel that way.
Those that are doing the crucifying, they know that they haven't worked on themselves the way that they should have. And what I'm gonna say, I know we disagree on this, but I genuinely believe that if you, to the bully, to the person that feels that they have to respond to everything that's negative, to the person that feels that they need to see 400 likes versus 12, none of that matters. None of that. You need validation from the people you love. And if the people you love don't give you validation and they don't love you back, drop them. You need to put effort where effort is given. And I think that's the most important. If you know you have a problem, work on it. Sit in your room, locked up, instead of worrying about celebrities' issues and everything that's going around you, focus on yourself. How about you start going on YouTube and saying, maybe create your own channel talking about your shit, because right now we live in a climate where people want to know about people's lives. Like, people care about people's actual fucking lives. The celebrity is the puppet, and we are all the masters. We're trying to tell them, we cancel you based on your decisions. We think you should wear pink instead of red. We're telling them what to do, but we're not working on ourselves.
Since we kind of segue into social media, all the cancel cultures and how social media affects everything, that's going to be on the next episode. It's going to be about cancel culture, aka Sticks and Stones, referring to Dave Chappelle's special a little bit that touched on some sensitive subjects, but in a comedic aspect. Open up dialogue about how we're living in a super sensitive culture right now, and I think it's kind of crazy.
Oh, this is going to be a juicy one because we disagree on this a lot. But stay tuned, and we are so happy that you guys tuned in. If you have any ideas for us, put them in the comments below. Send us a DM.
Questions you want about the next episode, we'll address it. So just hit the comments below, subscribe, and welcome back.
Bye, guys.